Hi, Captain Awesome. It's Ainsley here, your life transformation coach for Daily Adventure Fest. So today, guys, I want to talk to you about learned helplessness and how we can get ourselves into such a state, such a victim mindset that it's like a bunch of hands, zombies. Let's call them zombies, trying to clutch at you and drag you down, and that's your subconscious holding you back. Now, I was a perpetual victim. I grew up thinking that everything around me was a result of everybody else's fault. Everything that happened to me was somebody else's fault. I had no sense of personal responsibility within myself to acknowledge that I was creating these storms all around me, all throughout my life. And the same with my emotions as well, and like the lack of emotional intelligence that I had. And, you know, I mean, especially in the early days with my business, and how if things weren't going right, like, you know, like say for example, I spent all day making cold sales calls. And I didn't make one sale. Couldn't even get through the gatekeeper. And I would just end up in a heap on the floor. I really lacked the coping skills to handle things like that. And when things aren't going the way that I want them to, because from childhood, you throw a tantrum and you get results. That was deeply ingrained. And so as I got older, I'd been carrying that, and it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but you know what, we all do it. I know people in their 60s that still carry on like that. They really lack the emotional intelligence to stop themselves and take control of the situation in their heads, and then take control of the situation in their environment. And you know, as I said, like, it's taken me a long time to figure that out, but as I have, and you know, it's an ongoing, lifelong thing. As I can see how much stronger I've gotten, how much more self-reliant I am, and also how easy it is for me now to fix problems. So if you're one of those people that really struggle with that, like if you fly off the handle when something goes wrong, or you get angry, you blame other people for your situation, you blame the government, you blame your mother, you blame whoever else, then what you're doing is you're just hurting yourself, and you're lowering your own self-esteem by thinking that other people are responsible for where you are. When you take full control, and you know, logically we know we're in control, logically, but deep down underneath that, in our subconscious, there's some patterns running that we're not breaking. And so if you're doing this, you're actually limiting yourself a lot. It's stopping you from getting the right relationship. It's stopping you from getting the right job. It's stopping you from making the money you want. It's stopping you from having the social life you want, or the lifestyle you want, or the car, or anything that you want. That's what's stopping you, is your low emotional EQ, they call it. It's like, you know, you've got IQ and then you've got EQ. And that's EQ, the emotional intelligence. And so I've been watching it's from like the 90s or the 80s, it's that old, Steve Siebold on YouTube, and it's like a series. I think it's a TV series, but it's a training series. Can't really tell. Training series dressed up to look like a TV series. And he talks about the world class compared to the middle class. And what he talks about, so it's not about money, okay? It's not about specifically what's in the bank or what assets you've got or whatever. This is more about a way of thinking. And the way of thinking with the world class is that they get themselves out of these emotional states. They stop falling into a heap on the floor and learn how to cope when things don't go right. Now, look, it's not about turning yourself into the perfect person. I mean, people get pissed off. No matter how much you evolve, you're still going to get pissed off about things. But it's what you do with that counts. Like if you're constantly getting pissed off and then just harboring it, well, first of all, it can make you sick. Second of all, you're actually turning people off, and you're also turning off opportunities as well, because you're just constantly on this negative pull yourself down mindset. And so to get into a world-class mindset takes work. Like, I'm nowhere near that. I'm working my ass off for it, but it's also about self-actualization and becoming fully 100% responsible for you and your decisions and your choices. So it's looking in the mirror and seeing that if you're overweight, owning the fact that you're in control of that. You've been eating too much, you haven't been exercising, you're not doing the right things. The money in the bank, or the lack of money in the bank, you're responsible for that. Might not feel like it, but you chose to go that career path that you're on, get that job you have, and earn that money that you do. And if you ever run out, then that's your choice too. Like, I know for me, I'm been shocking with money, like terrible. And I know now, it took me a long time to figure it out, but it's my fault. It's all on me. And when you start doing this, when you start really owning your shit, like really owning it, really being 100% honest with yourself about what you're not doing, first of all, it's a biggie, and then what you need to do, once you get those and write them down, you'll get so much clarity around your life and where you're at, which is great, because then it helps you step up to the next level and the next level and the next level. Like, I'm in a group at the moment on Facebook, and it's like a women's support group, and I think I've come to realise that I'm probably a little bit too kind of, for the group. But I'm looking in there, and the learned helplessness and the victim mindsets and just this, everything's going wrong. I've been there myself, okay? So, like, as I judge, I also am judging myself on knowing that I have been like that as well. Like, I had to be like that to learn how to stop doing it. And so I've been posting in there to help people. But what I've come to realise is that I think there's a gap. There's a big gap between where they're at and where I can help them. Because my help is more like, you know what, get the fuck over yourself, get up and keep moving. Some have appreciated that, but some that like to stay where they are, like to stay in this state of learned helplessness and victimhood, don't like that because they feel like they're being judged. But what's going on is that it's resonating in them. And it's not because I'm better than them, it's just that I've dealt with my shit to this point. And I can sympathise, or not sympathise, but empathise with them. But I also think you can get out of it if you're open to it. But some people, it works for them, it serves them. And if it serves you, then, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't serve you to be in that state of mind, to be in that depressive, poor me state, because while you're like that, you're not living. You're wasting your time in this mindset that that'll keep you stuck. Keep you stuck. Like, and I'm only just now learning how to deal with a crisis in a more constructive way. Like, it hasn't been easy, especially in business. It's one of the toughest things you will ever put yourself through, that's for sure. Where, you get tested and tested, but all it is, it's just your mental toughness. It's like, say you haven't stepped foot in a gym in 6 years, you're overweight and you're unhealthy, you're not going to bench press 120 kilos or sit on a stationary bike and just go flat chat for an hour. You're just not going to do it. It takes time. It takes building. And I know with this group, I know I'm planting seeds. Like, I know that it's triggering some people, but I also know that it's planting seeds. And it is, people are starting to kind of, like my posts, they're just getting used to me. And it's not, just had to move, so slightly interrupted there. What was I saying? So this is what you've got to ask yourself, and this is where you have to get super, like, fucking fucking honest, like really honest with yourself and saying, where am I falling into a state of learned helplessness? Where am I sitting in the problem and hoping that someone will rescue me? Now this support group, it is a lot like that, but the problem with it is that everyone's just giving each other this, hang on, I'm trying to get in the best light. Everyone's just giving each other a pat on the back going, there. There's no kind of like, okay, enough of the story, up you get, keep moving, keep going. And, you know, I mean, I've sort of, I'm still wondering whether I should be in there or not, because, you know, some people just don't want to be helped. But then I think, well, I do enjoy helping people, so until they block me for being offensive or whatever, then I'm just going to keep helping people. If they don't like it, that's okay. They can block me, whatever. And so that's the most important thing, is that you've got to get honest with yourself. Like, what are you doing, creating in your life that's just coming back and just slapping you across the head constantly? Like, I've had a ton of it, and I've gotten to many points where I've just gone, that's it, I've had enough. And now I can feel that, if you want to like put into gym speak, I can feel like I can look in the mirror and be proud of my body now from all the work that I've had to do to get to this point. But there's still a long way to go. There's still, you know, I want to be a power lifter, for example, you know, so I need to get into that. And so that's pretty much it. Like, you're not going to get over shit overnight, and that's cool. But as long as you're taking the steps to do that, as long as you're making the moves and doing the things you need to do, yeah, like it's just as simple as that. Like, if people are giving you advice and you're not taking it, then that's on you. If it's not, like, if you watch the videos but you don't really do anything, you're kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but you don't actually go, right, okay, what do I need to do? Watch videos, read books, what do I need to do? Then that's on you, okay? Your inactivity is not helping you, it's not moving you forward. You have to take action and you have to do stuff in order for you to grow. So that's it for today, and what time is it? 9:45. I'll be out of here today. So anyway, on to a new one. But I want you to have a cracking day and get out here and play, because the world is waiting.